It'll play the intro. All right. Hey, we are live with the Breaking Balls podcast test episode here. My name is Luis, aka Epic Chief Burrito, with Mr. Reid at 323. Reid, how you doing today, Reid?
I'm doing good. This is interesting flow. We haven't had like a good, intro, a good, breeze in like that since any of the draft shows, and I got kind of fuck with the cat.
Oh yeah, fucking that was my original. The original was always the cat, and then it turned into like adding something to the background until you can see the back until it became the fucking smorgasbord of internet culture that you see today. But yeah, we've been talking about doing some more kind of niche content, and one of the things that we talked about was doing a live weekly show about reacting to stuff. And the concept of the Breaking Balls podcast is where news and culture clash, because it's all fun and games to say, hey, shut up and drivel. But there's an also element where culture and sports, and it'll be about sports, it'll be about culture, it'll be about media, it'll be about basically whatever the fuck we want. So if you do see this scrolling by your feed, easiest thing to do to support is hit the like, leave a comment, share it, let the algorithm know that you like it, and then others will also see it. So let's jump into it. And Mr. Reid, what is the things that you have on your mind that might specifically hit the nail on the head, almost too close to the stated message of the show?
Well, I mean, I've got a lot. We've got a lot to flow through, right? We have our whole topic sheet. We have Great American State Fair. We've got Go New York, Go New York, Go. It's just something like I can't get out of my head whenever I'm seeing you right here now too. But honestly, if we're talking about all these things, you say shut up and dribble. You're talking. That's a quote that hits hard for us. And you see my shirt right here, my Commander's shirt right now. I got a reason to be a hater this week. I got a reason for everything to flow through me. Jackson Dart over in New York. If we're talking New York, I'm going to start there on the football side. I got to hit Jackson Dart on the head here. Jackson Dart.
Villain unlocked.
The second-year quarterback for the New York Giants, just going out of his way to put his political leanings on public showcase, and goes out to introduce the 45th and 47th president of the United States, Donald Trump, at his pep rally, which is basically all it is, a pep rally, and going out there to introduce him, set him up. And it's just something, it's already wild as it is that we're still doing pep rallies here when you got the presidency on lock and everything. I don't know why he needs to do a pep rally outside of, I guess, just
feels good.
Let everybody know, hey, everything's good. Things are good. Things are good. We're going to the 250, all that. But to see we've seen athletes go out and support Trump, and you've seen athletes go out and support politicians in general over the years. But at a time where you have a president who I can't even say he's divisive anymore when you look at polling and you look at these numbers, which shows that it's a heavy amount of negativity and dislike and disapproval towards Trump right now. You don't see current athletes, especially quarterbacks, going out and repping the political rally towel, going out for Trump, especially right now. This was kind of big with the Patriots back in the original run during 2016. Bill Belichick had a letter from Trump he wrote that he read to the team, and it didn't go over well. And he had to have his assistant coach, Brian Flores, was the one to tell him, hey, this is not going over well in the locker room. And they didn't do it again. And Brady got his MAGA hat out of the locker that he was on public showcase, because as a quarterback, especially as the leader of your franchise, the face of the team, you are supposed to have some better judgment than to do something that could be any type of divisive, that could cause any type of rift in your locker room with your teammates. And Jackson Dart did not have that. He didn't showcase that, and it went straight out of the way. And you saw it with Abdul Carter, the second-year star defensive player, star linebacker there, just simply tweeting out, is this AI? Like, what are we doing? And you knew
what are we talking about here?
There's some trouble in the Giants locker room, and it gets blown up, probably more negatively towards Abdul Carter, but still, this was something brought on by the franchise quarterback in Jackson Dart, and I think it's a very bad look for him. I think it's a bad look for the franchise. I think it's upsetting for the fan base to, this is a guy that does not have this job on lock. He's not locked into this, and you have a shitty season, this will come back. This will regurgitate back into the flow. People will be talking about it, and you're going to be questioning everything about Jackson Dart's judgment and his ability to lead a team. But also, it just irritates me, and has irritated me all week, that sports and politics we've been told for a long time, since Colin Kaepernick was taking a knee before the anthem, hey, what Louis said, shut up and dribble. keep your politics out of my sports. But that doesn't apply now. That doesn't apply when, the president wants to insert himself into the Super Bowl. He wants to insert himself into the World Cup openings, at the FIFA rally. He wants to insert himself into a certain team's first finals appearance since 1989 with the NBA. So all of it is just, it's kind of irritated me. I don't know how you saw the Jackson Dart situation this week. I don't know how it went over for you, but I thought about you immediately when I saw it, because I was like, we've been trying not to talk politics. We've been trying to stay out of the realm at least on the 323 network for a minute, and just stick to sports, just stick to the entertainment, because things have been very apocalyptic. But these motherfuckers make it so hard.
Yeah.
Make it so hard not to.
I think I think that, well, I think that the answer to trying not to talk about politics is to create a show that blends politics and sports. That's what we did. We steered into that curve. Yeah, even on Mi Gente show, we at some point have to take a step back and be like, let's, there's just so much bullshit that comes along with being outspoken, and there's a lot of people out there fighting the good fight, that it's not necessarily our position to always be, at the lead. You can let other people lead. You can kind of support other people that are out there. There's tons of good people that are out there in terms of like opposition, this and that, everything that's going on in the world. When I saw the Jackson Dart thing, it came across as earnest from his perspective because he's a country bumpkin. You know, the quarterback from Ole Miss likes Trump. Is like, oh shit, dot dot dot, water is wet, etc. But the double down on the I didn't think blue hairs watched the NFL, and that one that when that one was there, I was like, oh, this guy's just dumb. He's just very clueless. To be that clueless to not understand that you're the quarterback of the New York Giants, most diverse city in the world. You have a socialist mayor that's trying to fix the city. You have a fan base that is literally the melting pot of America. You have a mix of like your old school, you know, there's tons and tons and tons of Republicans in New York and New Jersey. But it's not it's very short-sighted, it's very dumb, and you have a sport that's predominantly, you know, black. And even though maybe there are, I mean, as we saw with the Jets, with Sauce and all these other players, there are pro-Trump black NFL players. It's not like there's probably a ton of them, because there are, but there's also, I mean, if you're looking specifically by race, I don't think that the support for Trump is huge in the African American community overall. So to be that short-sighted, to be that earnest, to be that dumb in making that statement and then doubling down, proves that that IQ matters, and that there is a reason that I think it's just it goes both ways. Like, I'm 100% okay with Jackson Dart being the biggest Trump supporter that he is, but to put himself in position as a leader of the New York Giants and to put it out there without regard to how it's going to affect your teammates, and then to have to then address your teammates. What was that conversation like? Like, what did we say? What did he lead with?
Well, I think part of the funniest thing is, and especially with the Giants, and like you said, I'll cover my bases here by saying I wouldn't really want my quarterback jumping into the political fray whatsoever. Obviously, if you're fighting, like the thing with Colin Kaepernick to me was he wasn't making some type of huge Democratic or Republican stand or anything like that by doing the kneeling. The kneeling and the entire protest with the anthem was simply, hey, police are beating up on black people. There's an insane amount of police brutality happening in this moment, an insane amount of inequality happening in this moment. I just want to make a stand, use my platform to say, hey, let's be better. That's all it was down to the fray, and it became a political thing. I don't expect to see any quarterback jump into a Kamala Harris rally or a Gavin Newsom rally if that winds up happening, whatever, on any type of, even Mamdani, all this stuff. It's just the fact that you're inviting this into your locker room, that you're not only inviting it into your locker room, you're putting your teammates like Abdul Carter into an awful position, because I'm not sure, I've seen it in the comments already, some awful shit said to him, about his faith, his Muslim faith and everything. And it's just been, it's a shitty situation that you start as the franchise guy in the face, and you continue to do stuff like that in the NFL. The NFL has made it very clear, hey, we will live past you. You throw, like, give me 18 interceptions this season. Look around, buddy. There's going to be somebody coming around next year. Kirk Cousins, something will erase you from the status quo. Jameis Winston, of all people. You got him back there. He'll take right back over. This is the kind of stuff. It's just bad decision making. But I like what you said, what they say behind closed doors, because the Giants, there was a report out from Ian Rappaport about how the Giants had a meeting with the team. Jackson Dart had to address the team. And they all decided as an organization that any of these types of private discussions and private matters are going to stay behind closed doors now in the Giants facility. That was a report coming back from behind closed doors in the Giants facility. So somebody didn't get the memo, at the start in New York. But look, man, I'm a Commanders fan. I want more reasons to hate this team. I was kind of enjoying Giants games last year and watching this, because Jackson Dart, we say country bumpkin from Ole Miss, but he is also Mormon kid from Utah. Like that's where a lot of that comes from for him, and that's where you could probably see that support. And I was kind of enjoying it. I kind of fell into the trap. He had the chain, he had the grill, and everything. The usual shit that white people do when they grift off of black culture and then abandon it the moment that they can to talk about something else.
The full Miley Cyrus cycle.
The full Miley Cyrus cycle. The Donald Trump cycle in the 90s with his hip hop affiliations. I was enjoying Jackson Dart. I was enjoying Cam Scattaboo. I was enjoying the Malik Neighbors a little too much. Now idiocy helps me bring it back down. You're down back. I can watch you get the shit knocked out of you by Dallas happily on week 1 on Sunday night.
Close for me. I mean, it does also put a target on your back if you got some woke D lineman, some DEI woke D lineman who only got his job because of DEI rushing off that edge. You know what I mean?
Although it's going to put him in good position against the 49ers, I think in like week 13. And Nick Bosa's coming off the edge. He's going to go a little slower.
Take it easy. You know what? Yeah. Scott. So Jackson Dart, man, maybe he should play cornerback. Bring him back. Take him for the team. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think that it's to be expected that that something like this was going to happen. But if you're going to be like, stop getting mad, then please, when a tennis player makes a stand, when Colin Kaepernick does the thing, when the next person does a protest, then you gotta give them some grace. I'm all for letting him be a Trump advocate. I'm okay. Listen, I eat Chick-fil-A. I don't want to know what your politics are. If I can avoid knowing your politics and just treat you as a human, I'm much happier to just deal with you as a football player and figure out what round of the fantasy football draft I'm going to draft you in as a backup. I'm not really, worried about that. But if you're going to be brave enough to talk the politics, if you're going to be, do the YMCA when you're Team USMT and when you score a goal but then you're going to tell somebody to shut up and dribble when it's on the other end, then you got to, we try to call balls and strikes over here. So what's good for the goose is good for the MAGA gander. So I don't know.
I can't disagree with you at all on that. I'm for people using their mic and using their spotlight to, bring, if they think something is that important to bring to a cause, go ahead. If you're going to say idiotic shit, I'm happy to know it too. If you're going to support idiotic shit, I want to know that. Just like you said, allow everybody that same level of grace.
We're living in the idiocracy timeline.
Right. Don't say, hey, he's allowed to support who he wants, but then you're losing your shit on Steve Kerr when he's talking about, some type of
or Popovich or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
right. I want to hear everybody. I think that's what's missing in this country is the art of conversation and being able to have a dialogue about whatever on both sides. Instead, it's become very much, so echo chamber heavy that nobody wants to hear from either side what they're thinking. I would like to know. That's all I want somebody to ask Jackson Dart is, that's cool. Why do you support him? What is it about him that you're
all wide. All right, let's move on from Jackson Dart and that topic on that note. We can clip that. All right. I did want to bring up, let's go ahead and jump into the Knicks talk because obviously we thought we were going to have a little extra time to talk Knicks as I rock the Pat Ewing. Play the music. Go New York, go New York, go.
Go New York, go New York, go.
Demolishing the Cavaliers 4-0. Not even a gentleman's sweep. I was being kind. I said Knicks in 5. Not even a gentleman's sweep. Just a straight back-to-back sweeps. But, Reid, the important thing is analytically, they're going to game 7. Analytically, there's a game 7 tomorrow night for the Knicks and the Cavs, analytically speaking. So I think I had brought this up when we were talking about like game theory optimal as like, are the Thunder like playing like the meta? Are they the meta of a basketball team right now? And I was talking about GTO, which means that in theory, because what he said is a very GTO analytics driven thought process about not being results oriented. Now, being results oriented is something that you can use as a poker player because there's going to be times when you make the correct decision in a play, but the outcome is that you lose. But the theory is that if you make those correct decisions over the long term, you're going to end up making money. So not being results oriented is a positive when you're doing GTO and long-term strategy. It might even be a positive over the terms of an 82 game season or 162 game season or an 18 game season, whatever it is. Analytics are driven by time, persistence, the odds over time is what this will give you. And that's why as a poker player, you might be losing, but you're like, I'm trying not to be results oriented. I'm trying to kind of just make good plays and play the right way. However, when you're in a 7 game series and all that matters is getting to 4 wins, analytics should not fucking matter. And thinking that, if you don't make coaching changes, if you don't call timeout because you don't think in the long term it's good to timeout, whatever the fuck reason is, you think that leaving James Harden to guard Jalen Brunson at the end of game 1, whatever reason you think it's not okay to call timeouts when you're down by 22 when you're up by 22 and it's slowly leaking away, whatever you think about not getting on your team, about just lagging, not getting back on defense by the Knicks, then you're just doing a disservice to your organization by thinking about analytics in that way. There's no smart way. I understand analytics is part of all the sports and it's going to be there. But when you're saying you're trying not to be results oriented in a 7 game series, that is just simply idiotic. It's just stupid. It's just stupid to say that. It's stupid to say you're a better team when you got swept 4-0 if you're James Harden, it's just dumb. So I think that yes, they made a mistake in not closing out their previous game 6s. But is that poor coaching? Were they just being results oriented? What was that about? And you can't get mad at the teams that the Knicks play. Same reason that we didn't get mad at Indiana when they played the Knicks last year with a gimpy OG and a gimpy Brunson, But this year's Knicks, who we went over the actual concrete numbers, played hundreds of less minutes than they did the year before. Their minutes per average went down for everybody across the board, except for the players that are doing more. And this is a rested Knicks team, although we just got news that Mitchell Robinson, at 32% free throw shooter, broke his pinky, will play, but it hopefully won't affect his 32% free throw percentage. Maybe this will finally push him to embrace the grandma style free throws and bring it back. So I think this well-rested Knicks team, any Knicks fan would have gone and said, yeah, you're going to blow out. You're going to go in rusty, but you're going to go in with the entire team healthy. The entire team is healthy. OG, by the end of the Cavs here, by game 4, he was back to himself. Mitch has a broken pinky, but everybody else is at full strength. And OKC or San Antonio is going to have a real battle in front of them because I don't think there's anybody else playing better than the Knicks right now. So as a Knicks fan, insanely. And then OKC, it wasn't like they had a cakewalk against Indiana last year.
No.
There was some times in that series where people were like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? And so OKC is probably the best team in the league, and a team that's never made the playoffs is giving them fucking 4 right now, So but as a honorary Knicks fan, until you figure out what your first round pick is going to be this year, what were your thoughts?
it was almost the same thoughts as when, what we talked about last week when they went up against Philly. I didn't expect their series to be done by this point, by like already that we're into this. And, I'll carry on with what you said about Cleveland and, their coach Kenny Atkinson talking about analytically, we should be 3-1, all this stuff. It was just nothing but loser talk and loser behavior from Cleveland. Like you said about Harden, them keeping him in, that's elder abuse at that point, right? Like they're just like you see what's happening here. I don't care what the analytics are saying. I don't care what anything is saying. That you need to. Hello, Thor. He wants in. He says he agrees. He's very hot on this.
It's the puppy hour.
You can't leave somebody in hoping that something's going to change. That is the when you continue to do something that's not working and it continues to result in the same effects, you are displaying insanity. It's the definition. And you're leaving James Harden in. And here's the best thing about it is they're going to pay him. He's going to get a bag. Like they launched themselves.
They can't admit they made a mistake because they traded an asset for him. So now they got to double down.
Exactly. So like we're launched, like I launched that toy. We're launched into this series now where, the Knicks, they handled business. They handled everything. I'm concerned for the city of New York. I'm concerned that, we already saw arrests coming from this last thing. Now, are they going to burn the city down if they win the finals? I would say Mamdani can handle it, but he might be the one lighting the match. Like he's just as hardcore into this shit.
If the Knicks win a championship, we might as well just have like a purge for like 2 days. It's just gonna just purge it up. Listen, we're gonna just purge it for like 2-3 days, and that might be, the city might need to blow off a little steam.
Yeah, it'll be all right. So,
not like felonies, not like full purge.
No, but like
peeing in public, like misdemeanor purge.
The shit that happens in Philly, we allow Philly to do it.
Yeah, misdemeanor purge is okay.
Yeah. I would just say with we're talking about this series now of who are the Knicks going to go up against, a very well rested Knicks team. Who are they going to be going up against from this long series between the Thunder and the Spurs? And I'll throw in this for you. We're talking about how the Cavs got punked in this series and how they were acting in this. If OKC, which I do agree with you, I believe that they're the best overall team in the league still, the reigning champs. I believe the Spurs might be the more talented overall team against them, but in terms of having their shit together, having a plan, keeping cool, I would say it's the Thunder. However, Game 6 against the Spurs, you watch that team, a championship team with a 2-time reigning MVP, just get punked by this young Spurs team. You allow babyface Carter Bryant, the rookie, to come in there and knock the hell out of the reigning MVP and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You knock him onto the floor. They reviewed it to see if it was a flagrant foul. They ultimately said not a flagrant. But, bro, Spurs came out there and said, hey, you want to do all this flopping? We're not going to allow you to flop. We'll put you on the ground. We'll give you your foul, but you're going to earn these fouls now. And they just got punked all night. Chet Holmgren, just a punk. Just you can't let Vassell, you can't have people just grabbing your shit and just rocking you, and you're not going to do anything about it. The Spurs came in with an attitude, and I don't know who the enforcer might be on the Knicks. You'll know that better than me. Who's somebody that can come in like Vassell did last night, like Carter Bryant did, that can come in and just make a statement against SGA or whoever at the time. But if none of the players do, bro, the Thunder are going to go into the Mecca. They're going to go into MSG and get punked by those fans. Like, that's going to be an overwhelming experience in Madison Square Garden. I would assume probably games 3 or 4 if it's against the Thunder, where Reggie Miller said that the Knicks are going to be the overwhelming favorite no matter who they go against, and he had to walk that back the next day and say it was like, no, I guess he saw the DraftKings odds. And I was like, no, I meant for the fans. And like, no matter what, Thunder or Spurs, whoever goes here, the atmosphere that New York is going to have, the atmosphere and the attitude that the fans are going to bring to this team, it's going to be an awesome experience. I can't tell you, as an honorary Knicks fan, as you know, a host on W323 in California and VA, the hype that I have for you and the excitement that I have for you and Knicks fans all over for this, as you know, everybody says Knicks fans are annoying, but I like it. I like it. This is going to be an awesome time. I'm rooting hard for you. And, you know, going from this series that we have in the West, I would like to see you all against either. I think it's going to be a fair battle against either way. But this is a curious question for you. Who do you think would give the most legitimacy to the Knicks to beat? If the Knicks had to beat one of these two teams, it's against the reigning champs, right?
OKC, yeah. OKC. Well, I think no matter what, if it's OKC and the Knicks beat OKC, they will say it's a beat-up OKC team. They'll be like, hey, they went to the finals last year. SGA was 2-time MVP, and then they started wearing down. They got a little hurt towards the end.
7-game series.
Yeah, and it's 7-game series. They were rested. They got a 7-game series, and then that would be where they could cry about it. But I think it still would be more legit. I think then, since we already beat the Spurs this year, as a Knicks fan, I would prefer to play the Spurs just to get back at them for 99. You know, and the Spurs Knicks Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. I mean, either way, but I think OKC would scare me a little bit more just because. But then you see what they did with Indiana. You see what they're struggling with the Spurs. I am cautiously super Austin. I'm very pumped for this team. This team is probably, it's, you know, because I mean, my first Knicks team was Xavier McDaniel, Anthony Mason, Pat Ewing, John Starks. That was like my first team, like the early 90s Knicks teams, tough teams, battled against the Bulls, had their shot against fucking against Houston, didn't take it. And then another really favorite team of mine was those late 90s teams, Allen Houston, Spreewell, Camby. That was a really good, Maryland's own Marcus Camby. And then after that, it's just been mellow. Knicks were okay, but that was the whole, are we going to get LeBron thing? And then it was like, oh, are we going to get KD thing? And it's always been like hope. So after the 99 teams, all the other Knicks teams between 1999 and like the last couple, the Tibbs years sort of blend together. The Tibbs teams were great, and they sort of regained something about New York, but he was very clearly just grinding them into the ground and just overplaying his top 7. And that's why Brunson was hurt last year, and Hart was hurt, and OG was hurt. And I got to say, this year's Knicks team has unlocked something, because I didn't watch them during the regular season. And then towards the end of the season, I'm like, guys, I'm going to start watching the Knicks, so they might start losing. And then they were just winning, whether I was watching or not. And then midway through the Atlanta series, when they started going on the run, I've been watching every game. And I'm locked in, and this is my favorite Knicks team in the last 30 years. This is my favorite Knicks team of like basically the entire 2000s for sure. They play with each other. Brunson's the leader, but he doesn't overdo it. They pass. They're not selfish. They're, they just want to make the right play. They're running after. They're getting fucking transition buckets off of makes. They're beating people down the court. You know what I mean? They're hyping each other up. You know what I mean? Like there was times this year when the mix felt off. And I think the Giannis rumors got put to bed quick.
Yeah.
You know, like you had your chance. You know, Giannis, you could have forced your way there last year. This Knicks team, Cat got unlocked. OG is feeling himself. All this shit. Hey, Crypto King. Random people. We're talking sports, Crypto King. Not crypto. So it's my favorite Knicks team last 30 years for sure. And I'm excited. I'm excited. And analytically and physically, we're good both ways. We're good analytically and we're good there. So I'm gonna enjoy smoking on this Atlanta Hawks, Cleveland Cavaliers, and who else did we beat? Oh, the Philadelphia Sixers pack.
Mm-hmm. Good on the Sixers. Good on the Sixers. I will ask you, as a Knicks fan, as the Chiefs Knicks fan, shout out Costa Rica. That's pretty impressive. As the Chief Knicks fan here, what if does it require the championship here? Because I know you all love Jalen Brunson. If they win the chip, I don't know statistically speaking if this would be the same title, but would Jalen Brunson then be the greatest Knick ever to Knicks fans?
Yes.
Because he's the everyman.
Yes, 100%. He wins the title this year. He goes past Ewing. He goes past Melo. He's already past Melo. And you know, even to the like Josh Hart being like the John Starks, you know, that whole fucking thing, like it comes back, you know. So I really think that Brunson has a chance to be the best Knick of all time because championship, you know, Willis Reed, you know, I mean, you know, he's not coming back. Patrick Ewing, it's like these guys to the majority of Knicks fans, even to me, he's going to be my favorite Knick. You know, Pat Ewing, John Starks, Charles Oakley, Allen Houston, Spreewell, all those. Josh Hart, you know. But I'm gonna tell you right now, man, Landry Shamet, fucking out of nowhere, just like 11 out of 12 for threes in a fucking series, shooting 90% from threes, like playing fucking hard defense on Harden and fucking Mitchell. Like these guys are looking like fucking Zoran out there. It looks like your cousin too. You look like you and Landry. You could probably share a gene in there. All these things are happening, and I think it's an easy conversation. I mean, sure, there's gonna be some old head be like, "Nah, Pat Ewing, John Starks, Charles Oakley, greatest Knicks of all time." You know what I mean? But no, that's the same reason Mark Messier is one of the legends of the Rangers. He brought the Rangers a chip after 54 fucking years. Whoever wins the championship, this is my thought for this is the reason why in my mind I thought LeBron and KD, because they know ball, would eventually realize one championship in New York is worth 5 anywhere else. The person who brings a championship to the New York Knicks for the first time in 50 fucking years is going to be worth more than winning 3 in Miami, 1 in Cleveland, and 1 in LA. 1 in New York is worth more than all of those. KD. 1 in New York would have been worth more than 3 in Golden State, 1 in OKC. 1 in New York is worth 5 anywhere else. And so I have no problem saying Jalen Brunson is going to be the greatest Knicks of all time. He might be in the conversation for top 3 right now. And this is already my favorite Knicks team probably ever. I mean, obviously your childhood team is always going to be there. I have the Pat Ewing jersey. I have the Pat Ewing shirt. You know what I mean? I have the John Starks poster behind me. So obviously that early 90s New York Knicks team is where I love basketball and became a Knicks fan. That's always going to be number 1. But other than them, this is the best Knicks team I've ever seen play and the best Knicks basketball I've ever seen. Where I'm like, no, it's not just grit and last second shot. It's actually their technique. It's actually their coaching. It's actually their movement. It's actually like they're playing the right way. So, yeah.
And you know what? You brought up that about LeBron and KD, and I will say this because you always want your hot takes. You want your clippable moments. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, cowards, idiots for never joining the Knicks because I got respect for Knicks fans or for Knicks players, right? Because I see the reason, as you said, winning a chip in New York, bringing that first ring back in decades is worth 5. You're 100% right. It's worth 5 compared to anything that KD did in Golden State, what he could have done in OKC, what he could have done in Brooklyn, which I still think he was supposed to go to the Knicks and went to the wrong place. And he was just like, I thought, I'll just stay here. And the same with LeBron. LeBron went to the Lakers. Obviously, that's a legacy team, the legacy franchise that you're going to go to. But no matter who you are, unless you're shattering records like crazy, we've already said this about LeBron. You're not going into that top 5 of all-time Lakers. You're going to be an honorable mention because it's so stacked with absolute legends there and absolute legends of that fan base. So it's going to be hard regardless, even if you win a championship, which you did, and it was a bubble one. So you're already kind of iffy there. But KD, scared money because you don't want to deal, and it's the same for all of them. They don't want to deal with the media. Because if you're losing, you don't get that ring. Yeah, obviously that New York.
And media, for KD in particular, his boy was in his ear and told him that. Because 100%. His manager, business partner, lifelong Knicks fan, he had to sit down and explain this to him at some point. Same fucking thing I said now. That I 100% know he talked to KD and said, this would. And the minute I thought that of KD was when he hit those shots at the Rooker that year, and then he got mobbed. And I'm like, he's got to understand what being a baller in New York would mean if he ever put on the fucking, but no, they didn't want it.
They didn't want WFAN all on their ass.
Bet your ass that if the Knicks lose in the finals, that they're gonna be trying. They're both of the bum asses at right now that they're in their almost 40. They're gonna be trying to get to New York this summer.
And Katie never came to the Wizards, so I don't mind. He never came home. I don't mind calling him coward now. Katie stands for coward with a K.
Speaking of the Wizards, give me the top 5. Give me the starting all-time 5 for the Wizards.
Jeez.
All-time starting 5. All right, we got Porzingis at the 4. Who else?
Yeah.
I mean, let's lock that one in right now. Other than that.
I mean, you almost have to go positionless with the Wizards on that and everything. Sure. I think, obviously John Wall is going to go, I guess, point guard. He'll be my beat. Yeah. You're going to go there. I mean, Wes Unseld at center. I'm going to put him at center there.
Le Boulay, yes.
What am I doing with Gilbert's there for the locker room presence. Gilbert's there for weaponry.
You're going to put Jordan at the 4.
Yes. Yeah, because why not? Yeah. I'm going
to give you that one. I'm going to give you a little layup. You're going to put Jordan at the 4.
Earl the Pearl.
Huh?
I'll probably go Earl Monroe. Earl Monroe.
Pearl?
Yeah.
At the 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got Jordan Unseld, and then you got
Jordan
Unseld, Wall and Gilbert.
Wall and Gilbert. Yeah, I'm fine with it. I don't want Bradley Beal anywhere near it. I don't want him. Bad culture fit. Can't have him around.
Beal, my God. I mean, he did put up numbers though.
I like the run. Oh man, that's a top 5 I need to put together sometime. Top 5 one-year wonders with the Wizards, because I love the Russell Westbrook year. That was a fun year. Paul Pierce. We had 1 year of Paul Pierce that was magical.
Paul Pierce.
It was magical. I love that. I don't know why we let him go, because he was great that year. He put up some. He could not. Maybe he didn't do shit.
Paul Pierce retired a Wizard.
He didn't retire with the Wizards, but it was like he had one solid playoff year with us where we made the wild card. I think against the. Or no, he played 2 years. He played from 2014 to 2015 with us. And yeah, he retired a Clipper. So almost. So just as bad, but just a little bit, a little more glitzy. No, Paul Pierce was with us. I think how's your uncle? One of the players in the locker room, and that kind of made things, a little weird.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, he killed. Yeah, so yeah, Paul Pierce is on the bench.
Paul Pierce on the bench. You got
Paul Pierce on the bench.
Westbrook on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Beal on the bench for some points. Porzingis. Kyle Kuzma, you got to get him in there.
And then for coach, fuck it, we'll take Michael Jordan too. Just throw it. It'll be there for that.
Player coach, Michael Jordan.
Player coach, yeah. Player coach, yeah.
Player coach Michael Jordan. All right, there you go.
Or player coach Weston. So he's been around the organization. Yeah.
Good old West. Didn't his son coach?
Oh yeah, Junior. I think he was our coach before Keith. Before Keith, it's been a miserable. It's been a miserable few years.
Whoever you take at one this year will crack that starting lineup someday. You hope, you know.
I'm gonna put him on there now. I'm gonna put him on there now. I'm gonna put Cooper Flagg on my all-time Wizards because I had it so fixated in my mind that we were gonna get the number 1 pick that I still view him as a Wizard. Wemby too. Top 5 all-time almost Wizards. KD.
Almost Wizard.
KD.
All right, let's wrap up with there's these kind of go together because you had mentioned something that I didn't even know was happening, which is the bicentennial or the 250 year anniversary. Hey, America, 250. Congratulations.
We made it.
Lasted longer than a lot of us. It's time to wrap it up. We had a good run there.
It's been looking, stumbling at the line a little bit here.
Last couple of seasons have been rough. Last couple of seasons have been. We need to do a reboot.
Probably need a coaching change, but need a coaching change. But the ownership is a little too loyal.
Sorry, the Great American State Fair is happening. I mean, we're already excited that we're excited about the ballroom. Right, we're it's happening. You stop fighting the ballroom, dude. We need a ballroom, all right, for security reasons, so we can have cool events like UFC fights. Imagine UFC fight and the ballroom all the time. That's what we've always wanted: is fights where democracy lives.
Exactly.
And then, what would be a cool place for a UFC fight? Just gut the inside of Congress because it's got that cool top. And then you can just have the seats on the outside and you can just be looking down at a cage fight. Eventually, get rid of Congress and just have cage fighting. That's how we get our rules now.
Nothing screams classy. Like a couple of shirtless white guys beating the shit out of each other on the front lawn of your house, on the front lawn of America's house.
Yeah, no, and look, they're already doing major things there. I mean, Rose Gardens, who needs that? You pave over that. They paved over the Rose Garden. Get rid of that shit. What the fuck was Kennedy thinking with that? And just more ballroom. Just get rid of
forget that there was an area to have ballroom-like activities.
Oh,
we need a centered ballroom. Just like we're getting a St. Louis Arch in DC.
And while we're getting the ballroom together.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and build 8 stories down, like a bunker, like an ultra secure bunker where somebody could stay indefinitely with medical equipment and guards and stuff. Because you want the super protected, impenetrable ballroom, and then underneath you put a hospital, then a lounge area.
Mm-hmm.
That way, if somebody wanted to stay there, let's say forever, you'd have a place where you could go to. You could just kind of go be in your bunker.
And make it gold.
Bunker ballroom combo.
Right.
That's what you do. Any smart person. Everybody's talking about how important that is. But more importantly than that, there is a state fair happening. There's also a Hunger Games. We're actually getting a real life Hunger Games, which is I am excited about the Hunger Games.
I'm kind of excited about the Hunger Games too. Just like we're getting the Purge in a couple of weeks.
Sponsored by the ballroom. The almighty ballroom.
I'm sorry. Wait, no. The Hunger Games is funding the ballroom. You gotta get the priorities straight.
Listen. Sorry. Oh man, and I for one am happy to pay my share just so that we can have that. And you know what I mean? So there's a meltdown happening. There's artists that signed on to this 250-year American State Fair, and people are basically saying that they were signing up for a nonpartisan. What does that even mean these days? party, 16-day patriotic bash on the National Mall, and people started falling apart.
Do you know what the original lineup for this Great American State Fair was?
No, can you tell me what that was?
Oh man, are we missing out with all these dropouts? It is an all-star cast. We had Martina McBride, who was going to perform. She dropped out. Rapper Young MC, he dropped out. CNC Music Factory, Vanilla Ice, Milli Vanilli,
Morris
the Commodores,
Day in the fucking time.
Morris Day in the fucking time, Flo Rida, of course, and America's own Bret Michaels, who also just dropped out. I think the only person left standing on this is Flo Rida, which I mean he has to.
Is Snoop doing it? I'm
shocked he's not. I'm shocked that he's not, because it's not. He was at the inauguration event, but this is a sign of the times. This is a sign of where things are. We're trying to celebrate this great nation and our great orange president by having a big UFC fight for his big orange birthday, and you're gonna not come out here and sing every rose. What is it? Every rose has a thorn, or whatever the fuck it is that Bret Michaels continues to make money off of to this day. The audacity of him, the treasonous nature. He should be arrested. He won The Apprentice. He was on the Celebrity Apprentice. You gave him a spotlight, and you're going to go out here and betray Big Orange this way. How could you, Bret Michaels? Now I want to know who else could perform. Who could they get to come to this thing now that, they've deemed it was supposed to be a nonpartisan event, Luis. This is supposed to be just to celebrate the great 250, but now this is a political rally, so I don't know who they're going to get. Besides maybe those people from maybe that dude who was singing about not being able to
right off the top,
feed his dog.
Right off the top, fucking is Kid Rock and Morgan Wallen not available?
I think Kid Rock has to be available, right? Morgan Wallen might be. Yeah, he might be. I don't know. He tries to. I'm surprised he hasn't steered into this lane. Maybe he's too big right now.
Is Washington, is he not considered God's country? Because he likes to go to SNL to get the clout, but then leave right away and be like, I never wanted to do this. I got back to God's country as soon as I can. Where a man can say the N-word in peace.
That's where they need to have the 250.
Legalized comedy.
The fair should be had where he threw that chair off of a roof. That would probably make him more comfortable. Yeah.
Should the Paul brothers be allowed to use blackface? They really want to because of Drewski.
Only during the fights. Only during their fights.
Oh my God. Tell them they're allowed to use blackface, but only if they're fighting a black opponent in the ring.
They can only if they're fighting in Ghana.
They can fight if they're fighting somebody black. They can use blackface, and they can do a sketch in the ring.
Are we feeling good about the 250 coming up? I want it's the 250th anniversary of the country, right? But like, it's so marred down in all of this. I don't know how to feel. But also, like, I wasn't going to go to any of this shit anyway.
Yeah, I think that it's the thing I keep coming to is that there's going to be a point where almost everybody will say they were against this the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
That's
how history books will. Yeah.
That's where we're going to get to. Because you can't look at because there's stuff that's so blatantly back and forth where people are having to retcon and be against things they were previously for. Like when they tried to say the dude that they mag dumped in the street, and their first response was, well, he brought a gun. And then for a second they're like, God damn, he brought what? But then they've always been like, yeah, you're allowed to have guns. So that broke their brain for a minute. So that's a test of making sure, like, wait, do you love me so much that you will change what you previously thought because it's not what I want in this second? I might want that again next month, but right now I need you to fucking forget that thing you had that was a principle because it's in this situation and it's us, you know? So everybody in that situation is going to at some point have to come to their own arrangement with themselves about when they're going to realize, you know, what's going on. So we're in a point right now where people are being tested, and little by little they will fall off. Right? It's going to take somebody huge or something big to happen for like a major people to fall off. But they test it, you know. They'll try to disagree with some shit, or they'll try to go out on their own, and then what happens? You know, you have a situation like the senator in Tennessee, Massey, who agrees with MAGA 99.9% on everything, right?
Yep.
99.9%. But he disagreed with them on the Epstein files and Israel. And they said, you know what? We're going to spend more money than anybody has ever spent on a primary campaign, not even an actual campaign, on a primary, to put in a guy that nobody went to his rallies, never went anywhere, never spoke to somebody, but is pro-Israel. And so those we're in a part of history right now where we're having this AI discussion that we'll probably save for another time, where the end game of a capitalist society is money, more money. So the reason that we're having these issues with AI and AI replacing jobs, AI replacing podcasters, AI replacing actors, artists, all these things makes you wonder, what's the plan for us? What are we supposed to do? If we're not supposed to be hanging out, doing the work or doing the art, what are we supposed to do? But that's what happens when you have a society built on, when people are making these decisions about what's the type of stuff we should invent. It's always about what's the type of stuff we should invent that's going to make us money. And what's going to make them money is AI. What's going to make them money is all this other bullshit, right? So we're in that point in history. But so we got to really figure out what we want to do. We're at an inflection point right now. You know, we're in a weird time. So to bring it back to celebrating the 250, I still celebrate the ideals of America. I still at its core believe that it is, even though it might have been founded with a lot of misery and stuff like that, I still believe that the ideals of a country that's a melting pot is beautiful. And I try to live my life by what it would mean. But I understand that for people who are going to be apprehensive about celebrating it or participating or being too like gung-ho about it right now, it's, you know, maybe it's a time to just kind of be more reflective, I guess. But they're still going to have to put on that show, because the only way to stay, you know, number one rule about power, stay in power, right? So if you have to pretend, you have to keep putting that front up there, you know. And
you know what, just as we're closing this out and to go roundabout, I'm going to give you a little bit of peace, because I know we'll talk about AI our next go around, but that fear you have of us getting replaced, we can't be replaced, because nobody else, AI is not going to give you the use of Kevin Durant's initials, KD for coward, and it's not going to give you the visual image. I mean, it could now, but it's not going to come up with the idea of the visual image of Jackson Dart at the Great American State Fair, rapping the entirety of Nas's Illmatic from memory. That's your next performance. I've got that in a gold-plated number 6 jersey.
Wait. That's what's happening next.
That's what I've got. That's the idea I just submitted to whitehouse.gov.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, no, do it.
Yep, him and Flo Rida. I don't know who's the headliner.
Look, but I guess what we're trying to say is we'll perform at the 250 if you give us money. We'll do a live podcast from the lawn.
We'll say at the start of the episode, hey, we thought this was nonpartisan, but we're here now.
Listen, we're not. I know it's hard to believe, but I try to call balls and strikes when I talk politics in terms of just policies. All I care about is policies. In California right now, they're pissed off because the progressive candidate happens to be a billionaire, And they're like, how can this billionaire be for us? I'm like, progressive policies are progressive policies, no matter who's stating it. If there was a Republican that was presenting progressive policies, you could be behind it because it's about the policy. It's not about the politician for me. It's about what the policy is going to do. So I don't care if it's a billionaire or a poor person, AOC, Bernie, Tom Steyer. If their proposals of policy is good, progressive, then I'm happy for it. So, you know.
In the meantime, I'll be celebrating the 250 with Crypto King in Costa Rica.
I listen. We might be podcasting for Costa Rica at some point.
If he's the Crypto King, he'll fund the whole thing. We'll have our own ballroom.
Let me see if I have an outro for us here for the video, because we are doing this on the fly. We will have custom graphics and bullshit at some point.
We'll have a background you know.
This is a test. Thank you for Crypto King for stopping by.
Shout out Crypto King 8141 for coming through. As Luis said, like, this is a test. As we get everything, you know, as we're crossing over more between the 323 network and 2 a.m. Burrito Productions, you'll be seeing plenty of different things from the 323, from Mi Gente show, all types of stuff. You know, all types of new shows. We'll be getting some experimentation with T-Ball, the sports gossip show this weekend. There's going to be a lot of stuff, some live streams, more live stuff Monday mornings, hopefully, to recap sports on the weekends. Yeah, this has been fun.
All right. Well, let's sign off, and I'll do a little thing here, and bada boom, we'll do better next time, guys. Peace out.
Peace.